Next up is communication. I have no one signed up to speak. No one jumping up to speak. So we will move along to superintendent recommendations and reports. Personnel.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Begley. At this time, I would like for Mrs. Howard to cover the items listed under Personnel Professional and Personnel Support.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Begley and members of the board, I have several items for your consideration this evening under Personnel Professional. Number 1, resignation, letter A. Number 2, unpaid leave of absence, letter A. And number 3, employment, letters A through E. And that concludes all the items I have for your consideration under Personnel Professional.
Thank you, Mrs. Howard. I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Clark, Ms. Birding, Mrs. Lane, call the roll.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Birding?
Yes.
Mrs. Shorter?
Yes.
Mr. Begley?
Yes.
Mr. Begley and members of the board, I have several items for your consideration this evening under Personnel Support. Number 1, resignations, letters A through E. Number 2, employment, letters A through D. And number 3, termination, letter A. And that concludes all the items I have for your consideration under Personnel Support.
Thank you, Mrs. Howard. I'll entertain a motion to accept these recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Shorter, Mr. Clark, Mrs. Lane, call the roll.
Mrs. Shorter?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Birding?
Yes.
Mr. Begley?
Yes.